When my mom sent me a bill for $18,620.34, I didn't cry. I wrote her a check. Because sometimes paying the debt isn't surrender, it's the final act of freedom. After my C-section, I remember whispering, "Can someone please hold the baby? Just for a bit. I need to rest." Hours passed. Nobody came. By the next morning, while I was still weak, still bleeding, my mom posted a smiling family photo with the caption, "Best family vacation ever." 6 weeks later, I was scrolling through my phone, still half healing, when it suddenly lit up, 88 missed calls. And at the top, a message from my sister, "We need $5,000 now." I looked down at my newborn, his tiny chest rising and falling against mine, and I texted back. I never expected to have a C-section. I thought I'd push him out like everyone else, that I'd have that movie moment, sweaty but smiling, baby in my arms. Instead, after 17 hours of contractions and no progress, the doctor walked in with that calm, practiced voice that somehow made everything worse. "We need to go to surgery." I was too exhausted to argue. The operating room felt like a refrigerator, bright, sterile, humming with machines. They strapped down my arms, and I remember this pressure in my chest like someone was standing on it. Then came a cry. My son's first sound. I couldn't even move to see him. They brought him close for a heartbeat. I kissed his cheek, then he was gone, and the stitching began. When I woke up in recovery, everything was heavy, my limbs, my head, even my thoughts. A nurse smiled, placed him on my chest, said something cheerful I barely heard. "Can someone hold him for me? Just for a little while?" I whispered. She glanced around. "Let me check if your family's here." But I already knew the answer. The only person there was Brandon. My ex. The man I hadn't spoken to properly since our breakup 3 months earlier, after everything between us had fallen apart. And yet, somehow, he was the one standing beside me, holding the baby, changing diapers, keeping an eye on the monitors like his life depended on it. I remember drifting in and out of sleep, watching him through the haze of medication and pain. I kept thinking, of all people, him? The next morning, between nurse check-ins and pain meds, I checked my phone. No texts. No calls. I opened Facebook, muscle memory, I guess, and there it was. A photo of my family at the beach. My mom, my sister, my stepdad. Matching clothes, fruity drinks, smiling like nothing in the world could touch them. Posted at 10:03 p.m. The same night I was being cut open to bring a new life into this world. They knew. They knew the date, the hospital, everything. And they still left. I didn't cry. I just stared until the screen dimmed. Brandon came back in with a cup of coffee. He didn't mention the photo. Neither did I. He just held the baby, told me to rest, and for the first time in a long while, I didn't argue. When the nurses asked if I'd have help at home, I smiled and said yes. I lied. 6 weeks passed. I was still bleeding, still sore, still pretending I was fine while juggling work calls with one hand and holding my son with the other.